Hi everyone, in this tutorial we are going to see how to implement an infinite scroll functionality inside an Ionic application. We all know that loading a large number of contents in a single page inside an application will really have an impact on the loading time, which will affect the performance of the application. Normally we use pager, and here we are going to use infinite scroll, which allows you to perform any action when the user scrolls to bottom or top of the page. We can define a specific distance from top or bottom of the page to trigger an event. Let's see how to implement this in our Ionic application. Here I have an Ionic 2 instance running with a side menu template. Now I am going to use the home.html as well as home.typescript file to implement infinite scroll. I am going to delete this HTML, going to rename the title as infinite scroll. I'm going to save this file. You can see the app is getting built. Yes. Now we are going to write some HTML to list a set of items in Ionic list, and then we are going to add ion infinite scroll tag to implement infinite scroll. Here I am going to add ion list. I am going to add the ion item. Here I am going to loop a variable of contents using ng for, using let I of, say, the array as items. Here items is the array. I am looping through the array and printing it as I. Closing the ion item. Now I am going to add ion infinite scroll tag. Ion infinite scroll, and we need to add an attribute ion infinite. We use ion infinite, which is equal to, which calls the callback function. Passing the event and closing the tag. For the loader I am using scroll event, ion infinite scroll content. I'm done with the HTML. You can see load contents is the callback function, where items is the array. I'm going to save this HTML, and now we are going to write some logics to load the contents. Think I have an array of 200 items of text, which I am going to list 30 items by default, and then on scrolling to the bottom I am going to load a set of 30 contents to the existing array. I'm going to define an array here, nothing but items. This is the array in which we are going to add the list of items. I have created an array naming items array, which has an item of 200 titles of my blocks. I am going to create a for loop inside the constructor for that I equal to 0. I am going to loop through 30 items. Inside the for loop, I am going to push items to the items array. From the items array which has the list of titles. Of the index position, I am using the current array length. I am going to save this. The app is getting built. You can see a list of 25 titles gets listed here. Currently we don't have implemented the infinite scroll. In order to load the count, I am going to add this length in front of the title. Yes. I am going to create the method load contents below the constructor. I'm getting the parameter event. Going to print a console message stating that loadings content started. And now I am repeating this same logic to add the next set of items from the parent array to the items array. This will take the current array length. First set will be 0 to 29 and next will be 30 to 59, and this goes on. After doing this operation, I am going to print the message as loading contents ended. And in order to check the scrolling as well as the loading time, I am going to create a set timeout so that we can actually view the loading of the contents. I am creating a delay of 3500 milliseconds, which means 3.5 seconds. Once our logic gets implemented, we have to call event.complete to finish the infinite scroll event so that the content will get updated. I'm explaining once again. We have a parent array, we have items array is the parent array, and the current array is items. I have defined it before constructor. Inside the constructor, I'm loading first set of 30 items into the items array, and on calling the load contents method, I'm adding the next set of items to the array and calling event.complete. In order to know the loading time and the loader, I'm using set timer of 3500 milliseconds. I'm going to save this. By default, infinite scroll will be at the bottom. We can choose it to the top also. The app has been built. You can see the array items starting from 0, 1, 2 gets listed here till 29. You can see the loading, the next set of items. You can see the messages, contents started and ended. I'm going to load third set of items. You can actually see the loading here. This way you can implement infinite scroll in your application. Hope this will be useful for you. Please subscribe.